Welcome to my weekly astrology podcast. Sorry I missed out last week. I got caught up in my son's Thanksgiving festivities. I hope everyone had a beautiful Thanksgiving, and thank you for coming to watch my weekly astrology podcast. Thank you. Astro Podcast is filmed on Studio Cloud9. Astro Podcast is produced by Power Boots, LLC. Hi, welcome back to my podcast, my weekly podcast. It is December 1st, 2023. It is the last month of 2023. Whew, it has been one of those years. Things moving slowly, quickly, just happening so much that we now appreciate that long break over the summer when Venus was taking this long nap in Leo. As we can see now that the planets are getting very active, everything is speeding up. The news, people, things, everything's coming at us all at once, and that can be contributed to the sun being in Sagittarius. Mars is right behind the sun in Sagittarius, pushing like a big fireball, pushing us along, following the sun's lead wherever the sun goes for a while. As we know, Mars has gone through its Cassimi. It has now risen back up from being behind the sun. And so it is on a rebirth course for the next 2 years, as we spoke about a couple weeks ago. And today, the big news is that Mercury is going into Capricorn. And on the 4th, Venus is going into Scorpio. And on the 6th, Neptune, the big outer planet Neptune, is awakening in its own sign of Pisces. So for the past 2 weeks to the next 2 weeks after December 6th, Neptune's motion of waking up, we've been feeling it out of its long retrograde period. And I do have a video about retrogrades. If you don't know or understand exactly what a retrograde is, I talk about it in my videos. Please check that out on YouTube or on Spotify at astropod_cast or anywhere else you listen to your podcast. Today is December 1st. We are into our Sagittarius season with the sun, Mercury, and Mars here. So a lot of stuff is shaking up this week with the outer planets as Neptune prepares to wake up. The full moon in Gemini affected us all deeply in terms of communication and things happening quickly. And the big deal is that this coming up year in 2024, Jupiter will be moving to Gemini. So a lot of the Gemini full moon, a lot of the themes we were going over or feeling this week and last week and still into next week is going to be with us until 2024. Things that we may have overlooked, things that we may have gotten clogged up with Neptune being retrograde for so long. And as Neptune wakes up, a lot of things will start to clear up more. What can we expect with Neptune waking up or coming out of its retrograde period, which means we can start to see it from Earth now. Before it was hidden away in its transit around Earth, right? Around the sun, not around Earth. Confusion, being overwhelmed. And the other thing that's huge that's occurring right now also is that there's a geomagnetic storm occurring yesterday on Thursday, November 30th, and now today on Friday, December 1st. And the geomagnetic storm is intense right now because it's not just one, there's about 3 of them occurring. They're called cannonball CMEs, is how the astrologer Molly McCord speaks about it. And also solar flares that are facing the Earth, as Molly McCord speaks about. And another astrologer, Pam Gregory, also speaks about these waves of electromagnetic energy from the solar flares coming onto Earth into our atmosphere and affecting us. Our mental, emotional life is being affected by these solar flares and these electromagnetic flares that are coming out from the sun. And on the 28th, there was a huge solar flare. And I have personally been tired and having a couple glasses of wine over Thanksgiving. I thought maybe that was why I was so tired. And I realized after I listened to some astrologers that these solar flares are really making us feel tired and energized at the same time. And now with Neptune also sending out its Neptunian waves, we're also feeling tired and also sometimes energetic because of Mercury being in Sagittarius. But that all changes today. Mercury moves into Capricorn. And Mercury in Capricorn is very practical, uh, slows everything down because Capricorns like to focus on one thing and the thing that's most practical for your life at the time. As winter approaches, what's most practical? Getting all your winter gear ready, be prepared for snow, for rain, which is already occurring, icy rain. We had 2 inches the day after Thanksgiving in Peoria, but really none where I live in Champaign near the University of Illinois. So in some ways, some of us are going to have some rough winters, which I already can tell because last year was the same when it snowed so early. If it snows before or around Thanksgiving, it's always a hint that it's going to be a very cold winter. That's how I see it after living up north now for over combined probably 40 years of my life. So what happens here? We gain wisdom because Capricorn is the fatherly, masculine energy that rules over institutions such as churches, banks, schools, universities, or schools. So this is a wise Mercury that knows what's important, what's practical, but can be very dry. Not a lot of emotion here, and the emotion that is there is more of a practical use of emotions. Um, they could almost say that the Mercury Capricorn is a little bit unfeeling. Um, but I don't know if that's so true because Capricorns just basically aren't as easy to share their emotions. Doesn't mean they don't have them. And so the way we speak and communicate will be more pragmatic, will be more teaching, um, getting the business done before the year is done because Capricorn season is arriving in 2 weeks. So Mercury spends a long time here in Capricorn because it is going to go retrograde here on December 12th in Capricorn, and then it will retrograde back into Sagittarius where it's been these past month and come all the way back here to where we are now in the middle of November where we were. And by the end of December, January 1st, Mercury will wake up and be back again, slowly moving back into Capricorn and stays in the Capricorn till February. So Mercury has a long, long time here where it's going to be studying and going back over things that we've been thinking about since it turned cold, basically, right? And during Scorpio season. So we're going to be moving back into Mercury in Sagittarius and trying to understand and see what we did, and if we need to correct it before the new year occurs. So be mindful of that with Mercury retrograding. on December 12th for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And the 2 weeks and the week before and the week after, we're already feeling, we'll still feel the slowdown and the waking up of Mercury. So basically, over this whole holiday, be careful of snafus with your cars and type of transportation. Be careful with your communication and your computers. Be mindful that you don't get hacked, because that's been going on a lot this year. And pay attention to your money, because Capricorn's very into money. But also, because it is into money, it can really do good jobs, get great jobs, do a great job of earning money, because it wants that money, because it knows it needs money to survive. Okay, so be careful of that. That's happening this next week coming up. Everything's going to start to slow down as Mercury starts to retrograde, so be ready. And then the next thing that's going to happen is that Mercury is going to conjunct the galactic center today on Friday. And there's going to be lots of messages coming in, a lot of downloads, and it's going to meet up with, as soon as it heads into Capricorn, it's going to meet up with Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, who's in Pisces. And in Pisces, we know Neptune is going to be waking up on the 6th. As Mercury meets up with Saturn in Pisces, while it's still in Sagittarius, as it moves into there, it meets up with Saturn and Pisces, and we get a check. We're being told to be very careful, watch what we do, watch what we say. So really be careful with that again. And then on the 4th, Venus heads into Scorpio. And what is Venus in Scorpio implying? We're going to have a lot of psychic dreams, because Neptune's waking up on the 6th. And so we're going to have a lot of psychic dreams. We're going to acknowledge and recognize the support we've been getting as these shifts have been happening, because Venus had a run-in on 11/28 with the South Node in Libra. So as Venus passed through the South Node of Libra, we were really releasing a lot of things. And so as Venus heads into Scorpio, or meets up with Saturn, we're really being asked to slow down and be reminded of letting go of things and the value of why we let go of things. So basically, the theme of the year, the cosmic message, is to release, re-empower yourself, gain confidence in the truth of who you are, find that thread that you need to keep going and doing the right things. So in a nutshell, the year ends with this theme still running to 2024, 2025, and to 2026. And with the sun being followed by Mars, after Mars had its Cassini behind the sun and has now re-emerged, and following the sun and pushing the sun, hot red energy, the sun itself sending out solar flares to all of us, and all these downloads coming in as Neptune awakens this week. There's a lot of information coming in, much more than during the year. It's just coming in more and more now. And it's going to continue as Uranus begins to wake up on January 20th, the shock jock. So this week, take it easy in terms of acting out based on emotional reactions to certain news or information that may come out. Don't react to everything. You don't know the whole truth yet. Just try to pay attention to your own personal self and continue that theme of working on yourself, because if you can work on yourself, then you can help other people and you can ratchet up the spiritual love and the vibes that you send out. Because as you know now, with the solar flares coming down in the electromagnetic field, we are all part of one light, which is the sun. And so with that light, we can help grow, bring the world into order in a peaceful manner. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect. There's always going to be people who want to fight and pick on things and be critical, never be happy for other people. There's always going to be those people. So you got to really move beyond them and not let them stop your progress. If that's what you want for yourself, you need to work on that and just go for it and keep working on it. And always know that the people you surround yourself with either supports your energy or saps your energy, zaps your energy, or supports your energy. That's a very vital thing that I don't think a lot of people understand, especially young people, how reputation and how the energy of others can come in to your vibe and maybe change the way you feel, and you don't even know it's happening, especially water signs. Um, so right now, fire signs are the lucky ones because Mars is traveling behind the sun, and the sun rules Leo, and also Aries and Sagittarius is where the sun likes to be when it's not in its home sign of Leo. It really likes to be in Sagittarius, where it gets to travel around and talk and see things. And the sun also likes to be in Aries, where it feels most brave and pioneering and willing to go out there and lay the path for others. So Mars right now is moving quite quickly with the sun. Mercury's moving quickly and starting to slow down now. It was zipping around, now it's slowing down, and Venus going into Scorpio on the 4th is a huge, huge chance for us to individually look at our deep dark side and what empowers us to want to rise up like the phoenix and change, and why do we need to change and what's the reason for it. So as the week goes on, I'll be back on Friday, and on Friday we will talk more about some of these planetary movements that are coming in with Saturn and Jupiter and Uranus all starting to wake up. With Neptune waking up here, you will have some really beautiful dreams, some intuition. Uh, if you know how to handle Neptune, then you understand that Neptune likes to dissolve things. And with Saturn here in Neptune in Pisces is very super powerful here because it's home sign. And with Saturn also here, Neptune is dissolving a lot of what Saturn deemed important the past 100 years. And Saturn is becoming flexible. And with Mercury heading into Capricorn and its ruler Saturn in Pisces, with Neptune waking up and affecting all these things, understand with Mercury, you're going to be creating some awesome art. Communication will be very loving and caring, almost sacrificial. You're going to be feeling very spiritual during this holiday season. But always remember, Neptune can blur things. But with Mercury and Capricorn, it really helps to be able to discern a lot of things easier. Okay? And Mercury in Capricorn will also help with that. And Venus in Scorpio is also a water sign. So Venus is in compatibility with Neptune waking up in Pisces. So Venus here is going to be very, very happy, searching for dark, deep things that makes her happy. But Venus isn't super happy in Scorpio, because Venus here has to be dark and deep, and Venus really prefers to be light. Its favorite place to be is in where it was in Libra, and it just left its home. So it's a little bit detriment in Scorpio. It could really drown in too much, right? So really take that easy and understand that we're going to be tired. We're getting a lot of downloads. So rest as much as you can. And when you feel that energy, do what you got to do. It's a great time to do things, because so much inspirational atmosphere right now, with Neptune waking up, Venus going to Scorpio, and Mercury going to Capricorn. There's so much energy for supporting you doing things, getting things done. So with Mercury getting ready to go to sleep, if you've started something, continue it. If you haven't started something, you might just want to go edit something you've already started. But again, if it's something new that you've been wanting and it comes into your life, you got to go for it. You can't wait for Mercury to wake back up, right? But just know that you might have to go back over it again later. That's all. Thank you for joining me today and your patience. And I hope you had a beautiful Thanksgiving and happy December as we head into the galactic center. Okay? So get ready. All right. Thank you. I'll be back next week. See you. Appreciate you. Please like and subscribe. Bye.